This is take two. It may look like I'm oil farming right now. I'm in my bathroom. Deal with it. Hoodie's on because I don't have a cut, right? Anyways, sorry for all that. As you guys can see, I have a whoop on. I want to talk about, first of all, envisioning what you want your life to be like and working towards that goal. Almost like fake LARPing in a sense, where you are like, this is something rich people wear, and it's really towards their health. And I see why they wear it. I'm still debating on whether I should keep the subscription or not. I really like it, and it's $25 a month, but it's also $25 a month. It's a necessary, unnecessary expense, right? An investment into my health. I want to highlight this is a trading. This is about making sure that I have more faith, keeping myself accountable. I'm not gonna say you because I'm the one that needs it the most. Having more faith in God, right? Because this is what He placed me on this earth to do, and then having faith in myself to continue to perform, because it could be challenging and discouraging when you get hit with constant losses, but you have to continue with faith. Man, this position has psychologically battered me. Now, I will say this. There was many times where previously in my journey, even like maybe 2 months ago, 1 month ago, not 1 month ago, but 2 months ago, 3 months ago, anytime beyond that, or before that, I would have for sure went break even. And I didn't go break even, and I almost did a loss, but it looks like price is reversing on my position right now. And this was a very good position. This was a position like mapped out, and I was like, this is like something that just makes sense, and it's like technically under my skill set, my strategy, everything like that. I'm not naked, by the way. I'm on the toilet, but it's kind of frightening me, but it should work. And so, obviously, like if that's saying it, there's one thing that my now mentor says: you can only control your inputs, and you can't control your outputs. And I want to make sure that I'm making the best inputs that I can make, because I can make those best inputs and get a consistent and actual good output from those inputs. And I'm not going to always get the output that I want, but even faced with bad outputs, how I handle my inputs and how I approach the next input, how to make sure I'm not taking the previous output into that next input. And so, I obviously wanted to highlight my wins, but this trade psychologically battered me. I've been in this position for a little, I would say, I've been in this position for since this morning. Since this morning, I've been in this position, and it is currently around 9 o'clock at night, a little later than that. And usually, like stuff like this is bad me, but it's been sitting around my entry or in drawdown. Now, nothing has invalidated my entry, and in fact, my setup has been validated, which is why I kept my stop loss at its original place. But it is only now kind of returning to where I believe price should go. And so, fighting through that drawdown, especially incurring swap fees and everything, is like, wow. I, analyze this to the best of my ability. I believe I got the best entry you could have possibly gotten. And this is like, I was almost like, bro, like why me? Like, and this trading journey hasn't been the 3 years that I've been doing this. It has been nothing of like, I was thinking about it in the car driving back from my girlfriend's house. I was like, I'm on the phone telling people like, I don't want to go through recruiting. Like, I want to keep sharpening my brain, yes, but I don't want to go through recruiting because this is not something I want to do. And if I reach a certain goal, which I have for myself by this year, then I'm not going to do it. Or if I even reach, close to it or half to it, but I have a really big ambitious goal. That goal is 6 figures. I want to make 6 figures this year. And they said, okay, well, have you made more? I'm like, yeah, I'm close. And, it's quite embarrassing, to be honest, about my current position, because in 3 years of trading, I haven't made any substantial type of profits, right? Not at all. And being that inconsistent, even though I feel like I know everything I need to know, which is obviously why now I'm like I got a mentor for that reason, is because how like right now it doesn't even look clear. Now I'm never gonna say never because like I know this can leverage and this can compound and I'm in due time, right? But excuse me, it's honestly like I said, it's difficult. And so obviously I want to see more consistency in my training in terms of wins because if I'm getting consistent good inputs and those are starting to now match the outputs, I could really see myself even getting close to that goal. But I also have to remember like it's all in God's timing. And so I need to stop focusing on the result as much and start focusing on even collecting more small wins, like going to sleep early, because that affects the next day. And then when that affects the next day, boom, I wake up early, getting good recovery. Then I go into the markets with a clear head and I attack the markets to the best of my ability on which trade I believe is valuable. Okay, I trade that, that's cool, right? Or I don't trade. Then I go to the gym. I train my body, my mind. And obviously through that, I structure my day with prayer and praising the Lord as well, and obviously being into my word. And so I know I've grown a lot more as a Christian through my walk of trading, especially in these past couple of months when it's really been a hard stretch. I'm really grateful for going to college because I really thought stuff was light, and like there's so much stuff to be grateful for now, even being on spring break. Like I don't want to wake up early on spring break. I'm probably the only I'm the only people waking up early on spring break. But when you really want something, you say you want it, and you really want to, like you're gonna have to do it, right? There's no negotiations, if ands or buts about it. And so, I really took that for granted because I used to think just stuff was sweet, and I would have it nice, and then it would just come eventually. And when it comes, boom. No, I have to continue to grind my butt off. It don't even matter if I have it right now or not. Continue to grind my butt off to continue to be better. When I heard that my coach goes to sleep at 7 so he can wake up at 1 to London trade and do this, I'm like, that's dedication. That's the dedication I need. Nah, I'm not gonna be waking up to trade London. I think that's crazy and it's just unfeasible. I can't go to sleep at 7. Like I literally have school meetings, right? But that's the type of dedication I need to have if this is something I say I want to do long term. Because if they like, oh, someone who's wishy-washy can barely wake up at 7 to trade the markets, and there's someone who goes to sleep at 7 to wake up at 1, so they could be there not only for London session but the whole of New York session on New York Eastern Standard Time. Like what? So like, waking up is hard for me, but it doesn't matter how hard it's gonna be. My end goal is what I want to reach. I'm going to reach it by God's grace, and it's all in God's time. And nothing will ever stop me from that. And so, control my outputs. My inputs. I'm really gonna do the best that I can in order to get to that next level. Because that's really where I want to be. I want to be at that next level. I deserve to be at that next level. In due time, I will be at that next level, and it's overdue that I should be at that next level, bro. Simply if you have your own room, you are blessed, because there's certain stuff that I do to even make myself wake up better that I can't do when I have a roommate, and I have to be more sensitive when I have a roommate. My sleep gets affected because he could be loud when I'm trying to sleep when I have a roommate. Simple stuff like that. And roof over your head, consistent this. I could have a job while I was here and work that and not worry about this. I can't do that while I'm in college. There's just certain stuff that's like, it has to work. And we're pushing to a wall where stuff has gotten serious, especially with the major that I'm at. Everything starts beginning of next year, end of this year. And so if I don't have anything to show for it, obviously I'm still going to continue, because there's no way I'm not gonna have anything to show for it. That's ridiculous. If you're aiming to get 1% every of the day, you're gonna have over 1,000% being better, because it compounds. And how are you gonna say you're not gonna have anything to show for it if you got 1,000% better? Then did you? No. I'm gonna be consistently journaling. I'm just consistently trying to do everything. Doesn't matter if it's summer, doesn't matter if it's winter. Seasons don't matter. Breaks don't matter. They're done. want to come up and say that because it needs to be said. I need to hear it. Like, I'm overly spamming the psychology truth YouTube videos. You see it right now. This is like this that I want. I'm not doing it lazily anymore. Break evens don't exist anymore unless it's valid. We're done. Unless it's because I'm entering turtle suits now. We're done. I've added the final piece of my refined trading, and it's I'm like USD JPY. I accepted as a mistrade, but it's not a mistrade because I didn't journal or I didn't do my due diligence on it. No, it's because I was confident due to the close, and that's something I want to go over with the coach for future reference. But I didn't miss gold and executed on gold, and then I executed on gold and silver on this one. So, long story short, like, it's overly happening. I know it's gonna happen. I'm gonna literally use the resource that I paid $500 for just for this month, even though I know everything, to go over it again and not information overload myself, but make sure I'm refining myself and doing the work myself so that when it comes time to go and talk, I already have everything. And if this trade wins, which, you know, I'm praying to God it does, it not only, like, I don't care if my confidence gets shot, but it would help my confidence. And I obviously would put my trade position account in a better position. Then I know that not only one, your inputs can match your outputs, but this is the stuff I need to be doing, right? Trading off of Sunday market open, I usually don't trade Mondays, but I expected a really volatile week for gold, and so I would excuse that trade. That's actually a trade I'm not mad at losing. Waiting a day, seeing how price balance, doing it correctly, and then trading through Thursday. I'm gonna say through Thursday. That is how it's supposed to be. So I control my inputs. That's honestly, both setups I took were amazing setups that were planned a long time before and put through my program. And that program is still getting refined. I mean, my system, and that system is still getting refined. But once it's fully impeccable, I know execute, because I already have data on it. And I already back tested it. And all I'm making is a few adjustments. It's gonna work. I know my edge is profitable. I even had a positive return and no money. How does that work? My RR is great. Minimum 3. Let's do this. God bless. I know it's Philippians, I think 4:11-13. For I know how to be hungry, and I know how to be full. I know how to be abased. Philippians 4:11-13. I know how to be both abased and how to be abound. Everywhere and in all things, I'm instructed to both be full and hungry, both to abound and suffer need, because I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So thank you. This video will be getting uploaded. And trading update at the end of March, progression update at the end of March. We shall see what I do. We'll also be getting a cut tomorrow. Let me know if I'm going to be overly loaded or not. Yeah.